Hello and welcome back to Anatomy of CAD Design, and today we are going to do a signet ring. I really enjoy doing signet rings. I don't do them a lot anymore, but when I get a chance to do it, it's something I enjoy doing. Let's do a little bit different shape. What should we do? Maybe a polygon. Okay, polygon, center, there we go. How many sides do we want? We want 6. And let's make it that big. I take the curve, I'm going to turn it to a red and bring it up about 5-6 millimeters. Then I make a solid by extrude planar curve. And I want to do just one side, not both. I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on. There we go. I want to go down a little past halfway. And then the fun starts. We are going to cage edit this, and this technique that I do, I have done this for years, like I said. And let's see why I'm going to do that on 6, and that's good. 6, 6, and 5. If you have matrix 9, this technique will work for you. I go to transform, scale, 1D. Want to hit F4 and I want to come out. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the outside ring rail in 1/8, 1/8, or 2, that's fine, and go down to 1/6. There we go. I'm going to use this as a guide for shaping the solid extrusion to conform to the shape of a signet ring. All right, see, I want to bring that as close to that as possible so it has a really nice shape. There we go. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit and bring this out. And go down. There we go. How does that look? Well, that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, and what we're going to end up with is sort of a knife edge looking shank, I believe. Usually don't do this shape, so we will see how that comes out. All right, I'm just bringing it in a little bit. Don't want it to be quite that wide. That looks nice right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the inside and I am going to bring that out a little bit. Now the reason I'm doing that, I will show you underneath. The shape of the shank, I'm going to undo, and see how pointed and thin it is? I want to bring it out to have a little bit better shape. So that's why I've done that. Okay, the next thing I do is, I can delete that because it won't matter in a second. I am going to do a cutter. Go up to your cutters, cut to ring rail, select your solid, select surfaces, there we go. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, cut to ring rail, select surfaces, press enter when done. Sometimes it just doesn't like how I press the buttons. Does anybody else agree with me on that one? I'm sure I'll find people. Next, I am going to take the solid and I'm going to duplicate it and just bring it down a little bit. Straight down, so you want to hit shift. I'm going to turn that on orange and turn it off for now. And then what I want to do is I want to do a nice fillet on this. So I am going to select it, hide everything else. Let me back up. So in case you don't know, you select this and you right click with hide. I am going to do a fillet on the whole thing. So I go to solid, fillet edge. Let's just do 0.4 and see if it lets me do that. I don't need to do the ends, so I deselect those. Okay, it's broken history, but did it break anything else? You want to take a really good look at it and make sure that sometimes in these corners it has a hole in it, and you just want to make sure that it's solid. Very good. I select the solid and I type in check. Rhino poly surface object is valid. Okay, very good. I'm really liking this shape. That's kind of cool. All right. What I do is I cut it off at the halfway point or a little beyond. So there we go. And I'm going to turn that white so you can see it a little bit better. So you draw a line from F4 and you just take it where you want it, and then you can mirror it. Now what I do, and it's important that you do this after you fillet, because filleting a solid shank like that sometimes will leave a jagged edge and it won't be completely flat. And we need that for our next phase. You want to select the solid and go up to split. Split with your curve. Yes, okay. We don't really need these anymore, but I'm going to save them just in case. And now our solid looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to select that and type in dupe border. It's the first thing that pops up. And you hit enter, and when you're done, and I will turn that a purple. Well, no, let's turn it yellow. Yellow is our default color for profiles. And now I want to hit show, and I'm going to select our outside and our inside ring rail, go up to surface, sweep to, select profiles. And there we go. Now over here, since this is a dynamic command, you have a box over here with dynamic commands, and you want to not have a dome. So you disable that. Press enter when done. So now if I were to turn this on a different color and hide that, you can see that this is open and this is open. Okay, so we are going to join those two together. Go up here to join and the quick commands, and a lot of times if it's two different colors, when it joins it will turn one color, so you know you've done it right. I'm going to actually put that on there. Okay, very nice. Now I'm going to bring out the orange, and I need to adjust that. So I'm going to select cage edit, type that in, bounding box world. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the settings that it was on before. And I am going to scale this and bring it in. Scale 1D. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Maybe we should 2D scale it and see what happens. There we go. And then on the ends, I usually do it a little bit more so that it goes just beyond that. This one needs to come out a little more. And this needs to come way in. There we go. Very good. Okay, now the left side, or the side of it. Yeah, I need to bring this in by 1D scaling. Here we go. 1D scaling some more. 1D scaling this. And if you leave it on wireframe, you can see through it, also ghosted, because you want to leave enough right there and up here. You want to leave enough edge, about 1 millimeter, I would say. This is definitely not enough. And that one has a little funny little twist to the end. I think that looks good. Let me show you what it looks like in the perspective view. And it's really not a lot of cutout, but at least it gets you a little bit. So I tend to err on the side of a little bit heavier. I know there are ways that you can make sure that it is just as light as can be. All right, that was our curve. I am going to go ahead and offset that. So I type in offset and I go into my top view and I am going to offset that by 1.3. All right, so now I have a curve. You can barely see it right there. And I am going to solid extrude that. Solid extrude, and this time I am going to do it with a taper. And my taper is going the direction I want, which is good. If you want more of a severe taper, you just pull it down here. You want it to go above a little bit. And now what I do, I'm going to turn that orange. I 1D scale that so that my taper is a little more severe. See that angle? That's nice. And I can do a little bit more 1D scale if I want. And then I can bring it down a little bit. 1D scale until I'm happy with where it's at and the angle. Now this area right here is what I have left between the cutouts. So let's measure that for fun and see what that is. It's 0.8, which is perfectly fine. All right, now I have a cutout on the top and a cutout on the bottom. Here we go. Let's go ahead and cut those. I'm going to turn my red off and my yellow off. I don't need my curves there. And for now, I'm going to turn off my ring rail as well. So all we're left with solids, and that's what we're going to do, is go to our solid menu and hit Boolean difference. Select your first surfaces and your second. And there we go. Turn off your cutter layer. You'll notice that there are two different layers on there because your original shank and ring is still there. So you just want to turn that color off. And look at that, how nice that is. Very good. And let's see what it looks like in render view. If I want it in yellow gold, this is what it looks like. Very nice. And now you have room in the center. If you want to put a design, you can certainly do that. And also underneath, I would do a design. Okay, so that's what we have, my quick and easy signet ring. It works for all different shapes. If you have an unusual shape, or if you have very specific things that the builder just seems to not want to do right, this way that I do my signet rings always works. Always, always, always. And it turns out real nice, and you have a lot of control over the thickness of the shank, the width of the shank. You have a lot of control over the cutouts. It's just a really easy way to get the exact shape that you're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you're welcome.